This is the story of the tale of four evergreens. Once upon a time, there were many special teenagers who lived in central Wisconsin and went to school at D.C. Everest Junior High. That school was very well known throughout the land as being a school with high expectations. The school cared so much for each and every one of their students that they didn't want anyone to fail. They had many systems for helping students be successful, and one of those systems was called the After School Academic Program, better known as ASAP for those in the know. One Friday, Mrs. B, an English teacher, had copies of updated progress reports for her class. She was very excited about her students' accomplishments and had a big smile on her face as she passed them out to the students. Wow! This unit we are working on in class is giving everyone an opportunity to really stretch and grow as a writer. When I look at your grades, I see that most of you have been working really hard, and it's paying off, she said. There is no new homework assignment for you this weekend, other than reading your AR book, so you'll have more time to relax and have fun. Just before the bell rang, Mrs. B announced that she needed to see four of her students after class: Annabelle Hosley, Jimbo Dahlgren, Melly Meyer, and JoJo Finnegan. As the rest of the class filtered out of the room, these four students stayed behind. They all had a pretty good guess as to why they were being asked to stay after. I know each of you is very capable, and I want to do everything I can to help you be successful, Mrs. B said to the students. I've spoken to each one of you already, but I see you still have quite a bit of unfinished work to do. Doing that work will help you prepare for the test at the end of the unit. I'm assigning you to the ASAP program next week. Having some structured study time after school will help you get caught up. Jimbo, Melly, and JoJo asked a few questions about what they were missing and made sure they had what they needed so they could do their homework over the weekend. But Annabelle ran out of the classroom door as soon as Mrs. B stopped talking. Bright and early Monday morning, Mrs. B was happy to see JoJo waiting outside her classroom door. He handed in all of his missing work. When she saw that he had done a quality job, they gave each other a high five and a fist pump. You'll take me off of the Tuesday and Thursday ASAP list, right, Mrs. B? I can't miss practice after school on Tuesday, and I have a game on Thursday. Mrs. B assured JoJo that she would, and he went off to his first hour class. Then Mrs. B stepped outside of her door and looked up the hall and down the hall. Unfortunately, Melly, Jimbo, and Annabelle were nowhere in sight. When the final bell rang at the end of the day Tuesday, Melly headed straight to her locker to get her unfinished work for Mrs. B's class. I wish I would have done this over the weekend. Then I wouldn't need to stay after school today. Oh well, I'll get it finished right now so I don't have to stay after school on Thursday, Melly thought. She walked up the steps to the second floor and found the ASAP list hanging right outside room 222. Just as she found her name and the room she was supposed to report to, she saw Annabelle walking by. Hey, Annabelle, don't forget about ASAP, Melly called. Forget it. I'm not staying, said Annabelle. But don't you get lunch containments and Saturday school when you skip ASAP? Whatever. I'm out of here. Melly shrugged her shoulders as she glanced at the clock and saw that it was almost 3:05. She quickly went to her assigned ASAP room, and when she arrived, she saw Jimbo sitting there, but he didn't have any of the work with him. Bright and early Wednesday morning, Mrs. B was happy to see Melly waiting outside her classroom door. Melly handed in all of her missing work. When Mrs. B saw that she had done a quality job, they gave each other a high five and a fist pump. You'll take me off the Thursday ASAP list, right, Mrs. B? My parents were really upset when they found out I had ASAP on Tuesday, and they said they didn't want to see me on the list ever again. Mrs. B assured Melly that she would, and Melly went off to her first class. Mrs. B stepped outside her classroom, looked up the hall, and looked down the hall. But unfortunately, Jimbo and Annabelle were nowhere in sight. During the morning announcements, Annabelle was asked to report to the office. When she got there, she was told that she needed to serve 2 lunch containments for skipping ASAP on Tuesday. When the final bell rang at the end of the day, Jimbo walked out of classroom to head to his way to ASAP. On the way there, he passed his soccer coach, Mr. Hainish. "Hey, Jimbo, we missed you at practice on Tuesday," said Mr. Hainish. "Yeah, sorry about that, Coach. I had ASAP." "So you have everything turned in now, right? You'll be at practice tonight, right?" asked Mr. Hainish. "Well, not exactly. I'm still on the ASAP list," Jimbo admitted. "Well, kick it in gear. You're an important member of our team, and we are counting on you. Go get what you need for your locker and get your work done in ASAP so you can come back to practice tomorrow." "Okay, Coach." And bright and early Friday morning, Mrs. B was happy to see Jimbo waiting outside her classroom door. Jimbo handed over all of his missing work, and when Mrs. B saw that he had done a quality job, they gave each other a high five and a fist pump. "You won't assign me to ASAP again next week, right, Mrs. B? Coach Hainish wants me back at soccer practice." Mrs. B assured Jimbo that since he was all caught up with his work, he would not be assigned. She stepped outside her classroom and looked up the hall and looked down the hall. Unfortunately, Annabelle was nowhere in sight. That's because she was down in the office being told that she needed to come to Saturday school for skipping ASAP on Thursday. Bright and early Saturday morning, Mrs. B, Joe, and Melly and Jimbo were all still sleeping in, but Annabelle was on her way to Saturday school, thinking carefully about the choices she made. The end.